What's up, guys? SirAllAboutMusic here, bringing you a fantastic album review. It's been, it's almost out of date now to talk about this album, but the needle drop turned me onto this. I guess I should start from the beginning. I got turned on to Lightning Bolt through the needle drop. It was one of the first recommended albums of his that I went and checked out. And let me describe to you the first time I listened to it. Okay, so I got the album. I went out and I bought the album, sat down, stuck it in my CD, my computer to play it over, and I was doing, shit. I was picking up the mess of a room I have, at least attempting to try to organize it. First notes came on, got through the first song, and I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. SOS comes on. Just beats, just the notes, just physically beat me in the head. I literally sat down and stared at the wall through the rest of the album. Listened to it straight through. I am not exaggerating. I'm not making this up. I sat down and I stared into space listening to this album the first time through. It was like a musical epiphany. It was very, very close to a musical epiphany. I mean, I had always been interested in, and had a real interest and a real love for noise rock. But this was something that was in between. I like music. I like melodic music. This was something that was in between, It was extremely noisy, extremely loud, extremely powerful, but it had melody to it. It wasn't just, it wasn't like the Sleep Sessions or some other harsh noise band. I love that stuff. But this was the perfect blend of, two extremely different camps of music. And I loved it. I loved it. From the moment I heard it, I fell in love with this album. Earthly Delights, Lightning Bolt, released last year, 2009. It is... it's just amazing. I'm going to end up reiterating a lot of stuff that Jumble Junkie Music and the Needle Drop said. I'm sorry about that, but they covered a lot of really good points. A little while after that, I went up and picked up Ride the Skies just so I would have something to compare to the two. So that's really what this review is going to be. It's going to be a comparison to Lightning Bolt's older stuff and my whole perspective on that. So Earthly Delights. Let's get down to it. The thing that I loved about this album was the heaviness of the sound. It's massive. It's just huge. I haven't heard something this massive. I mean, since I listened to I by Witch, and then, this has, like, the massiveness of a Led Zeppelin song. This has the massiveness of, like, Kashmir or something like that. It's just huge. It's just a huge sound. And the thing that really creates it is Brian Chippendale's fantastic fucking drumming. Oh my God, this man can drum. And he's absolutely amazing at it. And I forget the other Brian's name, the bass player. This guy plays bass like it's a ukulele. I mean, he's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. He's like Jimi Hendrix playing a first act. It's amazing. I mean, the riffs that he creates and the colors that he uses and the effects that he uses to create all these different sounds, and they're, and then just the brutal heaviness of his riffs, especially in Transmissionary. They're so close. They're so close to metal in the brutal attack and the heaviness of the sound, but they're not metal, and that's what I think is really unique about these guys. Is they are borderline. They are so close. I mean, but they're not. They're not at all. They're at the same time they're really close, but they're as far away from metal as you can get almost. I love that about them. This album, compared to Ride the Lightning. See, there I go. Fuck. Compared to Ride the Skies, there's a couple of things that are different. First of all, Earthly Delights isn't nearly as syncopated as Ride the Skies. The emphasis is more on the wall of sound, this tapestry. and all the little nuances that are coming in and out, and creating this living, breathing soundscape. Whereas the earlier stuff, in my opinion, is more focused on the rhythm shifts and the uniqueness of the rhythms themselves, and how much attack they have to them, how precise the attack is. That's really what the older stuff was for me when I listened to it. This stuff is a lot more epic. I don't want to say epic, but it's epic in this kind of grandeur sense, whereas the older stuff is more epic in it's like punk ethic. It's the closest I can get to a real explanation of what I'm feeling here. That's the real big difference here. Is you have this syncopated sound, and then you have this big, open, expansive sound. The other thing, and the Needle Drop did mention this, there's a lot more low end on this album than on Ride the Skies. There's a lot more, Brian, last name slips my mind. Brian does a lot of his riffs are on the lower registers of the bass, while on Ride the Skies, at first I thought it was like a guitar or something, a guitar with a bass effect on it. Actually, I didn't actually think it was a bass guitar. So that was really cool. I don't know. Each album has its merits, but honestly, I really enjoy the syncopated stuff a lot more. I think I have yet to get Wonderful Rainbow and Hyper Magic Mountain. I'm trying to get a hold of those two so I can listen to the process, the change between those two albums. But that's not important. We're here to talk about Earthly Delights. So, so you got these really heavy songs, and then there's a couple of really kind of spacey, weird interludes. And there's a real like space rock kind of feel on a lot of this album. I mean, just some really psychedelic kind of things going on here. I think it's a real heavy psychedelic feel on at least 70% of this album. At least 70% of this album. So that's how I feel about that. Besides that, there's not really a lot more to talk about. Besides for Brian Chippendale's fucking awesome drumming. His drumming is fantastic. I mean, just absolutely fantastic. Until I heard Lightning Bolt, I thought Dave Grohl was the best drummer since John Bonham that I had ever heard. But Chippendale, he has a different way of looking at the drums, I think. I think he has a different way of viewing, this sound palette that he has. And it's an amazingly unique and fresh perspective on how to play the drums, honestly. I mean, you just it's one of those things you gotta listen to really get a good sense of where he's coming from. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, well, both of them, the place where they're coming from is absolutely fantastic. It's a mind fuck where they're coming from, honestly. So, originality, through the roof. I've never heard anything like this band, yet there are aspects of their sound that are really familiar. They're not that hard really to get in. They weren't that hard for me to get into, because they were new and they were fresh and they were unique. But they had that tinge of familiarity to them when I first started listening. So that was, that helped me along, and it got me into them really easily, and I was really happy about that. I love this album. Picked it up. It was the only thing that I listened to for about a month after I picked it up. I rarely went and listened to other albums, except to do the reviews, of course. So that's that with that. The flow, I think the flow is great. I think the flow is absolutely fantastic. Even on some of these longer songs, like Transmissionary or Nation of Bored, that run, over 5 minutes, the song is just so massive and heavy and epic. It's like a black hole. It just sucks you in. You cannot escape. It just doesn't get boring. Even when they go on and they jam on this, this one idea for 12 fucking minutes. But, the other thing is that they change things up throughout. The songs don't just stay stagnant. They evolve. That's the other thing that I really liked about this album. It's not just a boom. crap, 10 minutes. Okay, I got a minute left, so here we go. Album, 10 out of 10. By far, easy. Go pick this album up. It's absolutely fantastic. I love it, I love it, I love it. It's great, it's great. Yeah, I gotta go, because I'm running out of time. SirAllAboutMusic, this video is as long as a lightning bolt song. I'll see you guys later.